The Biden administration is going to come under increasing pressure to step in and to intervene to end this strike. We're only just a couple of hours into it, and already business groups from around the country are saying this cannot go on. This will snowball into an economic pain that we cannot afford right now heading into the fourth quarter. We just got this statement from the union. They said the employer's offer fell far short of what they want. They said we're prepared to fight as long as necessary to stay out on strike for whatever period of time it takes. So strong words that you would expect in the opening hours of a strike, but still ones that don't sound like the union is in the mood to offer any concessions at this stage.
Brendan, what is your and your team's assessment of the potential impact then on the U.S. economy from this?
Well, we've seen estimates anywhere from $1 billion a day to $5 billion a day. These ports handle roughly 75,000 containers every day. So if you imagine if this goes on for a week, 75,000 times 7, you're looking at 500,000 containers that are going to stack up. Those are just ships are going to be anchored outside these ports, and then they have to work through that. Whenever it ends, they have to work through this backlog on top of the normal flow of trade that's already happening. So it could take a week-long strike, could take a month to dig out from. So that's why the emphasis on ending this quickly, if possible, to minimize the economic damage.
Yeah, and the focus seems to be, as you suggest, that maybe the Biden administration has to step in at some point and put more pressure on both sides. This all happening, of course, in the run-up to that crucial U.S. election in November. What are the potential political implications of this then?
Yeah, exactly. What is the election is 5 weeks from today. Biden's in a no-win situation here. If he sides with the union, he potentially sees them digging in for a long strike and the economic pain that would come with it. If he sides with the employers, he's siding with foreign-owned companies that have made billions and billions of dollars in record profits over the past couple of years. So there's really no easy route politically. It'll be interesting to hear how this plays out on the campaign trail between Harris and Trump, whether we get a similar kind of stance from them, but yeah, the timing of this politically couldn't be worse, really, if you're the occupant of the White House at the moment.
Yeah, well, indeed. So we'll see which and how the candidates respond to this. We're seeing live pictures right now, Brendan, of dock workers striking and on those picket lines, at least with banners and boards, at the port in Philadelphia. So just one of the ports, of course, affected by this strike up and along the east and Gulf Coast of the U.S. In terms of what to watch for in the days and weeks ahead, do we have a sense of where the leverage lies? Clearly, union workers think they have the upper hand at this point. The response as well across the U.S. in terms of how consumers respond to this. There's a potential inflationary impact. How do you see the chips falling in the days ahead in terms of public support for this strike?
Yeah, well, it will be interesting to see how quickly the economic pain reaches the consumers. At the retailers and manufacturers leading up to this deadline, it boosted their inventories. So you would think that there would be some buffer there for at least a couple of weeks to withstand the shock of a strike to the supply chain. But things like food and we can't sit on ships indefinitely before they just spoil, and so we're looking at the consumer is really the big question here. How quickly will this lead to real economic hardship leading into the holidays? It's the big time of year for retailers, but we'll see how well they've prepared themselves if this drags on for a couple of weeks or more.